So I'm an artist. I make kind of drawings and installations based around kind of systemized approach to making work. And this is a series of prints here in Rise Up that I've made that have come out of that practice. Well, these actually, they started off with a kind of idea. It's going to be quite a long thing. They started off with an idea of a sculptural project about how do you make something of a unitary size, which is a certain size to work on. And from that I started doing some drawings about kind of, systems of sizes and shapes. And it's kind of extrapolated out to a series of drawings, which kind of does link back quite well into kind of the Bauhaus ideals of kind of, design and links those. I'm not sure I am nostalgic. I think that idea, I was saying about limits, is a way that you can kind of stop yourself just kind of repeating maybe what other people have done and kind of setting yourself limits. And it definitely kind of filters through maybe some of the things that happened in the 60s, minimalism and those kind of aspects are kind of drawn into it, but with a reappraisal of some of that work, of that period, How did I work? They originally based on some drawings that I did using spray paint, and then we put them into Illustrator and just, separated out the layers, and then they got printed. So the colour actually kind of happens kind of randomly, like you select one colour, kind of randomly, but then the colours next to it you choose in relationship to it, so it kind of starts off kind of a kaleidoscope effect in a way, but they are selected in comparison to each other. I did a BA in Nottingham and then I did a Masters at Chelsea. That was kind of 5 years ago. I kind of went to university, I did study engineering and I worked as an engineer for kind of 3 or 4 years. So there is a kind of technical understanding which I quite like, which just kind of sits in the background and I don't really have to think about it, kind of how things work, kind of knowing that, which is really nice. One of the things in a kind of broader sense that my practice is interesting is, is this kind of work actually utopian? Is it utopian, or is it something about the time? There's a kind of, which I think is very much happening now, a kind of reassessment of all of that work and about the idea of utopia and where that actually, because obviously utopia is something that doesn't really exist. So is it actually connected to the work? Is it connected to the work really? Or is it a kind of idea, that's added in? Is there anything fundamental about a kind of abstract composition, in geometry, which is utopian? Some of those I think those are the kind of things I'm interested in, kind of looking at in my work,